What's up, everybody? So, I have some more stuff here that I'll go over here. I found some more real old stuff from about 15, 20 years ago. And what you're looking at here, some of this stuff is just old like flyers and papers and stuff from a ride or like a Star Trek place that was called Star Trek The Experience at the Las Vegas Hilton. And this is just some stuff that I had from those years or from way back. And I actually, as a kid, I remember I got to go there and see that stuff. The ride, it was a ride basically, like in a casino, Star Trek type like place or whatever. I'm not sure how to describe it. It was like the building, the Hilton. It was a casino, and inside you would go in there, and they had like this little ride, like Star Trek themed ride and stuff. And it was like the setting and everything, like the little stores or area had a it was kind of a mixture of the Next Generation and also Deep Space Nine. They made part of the space station, like the promenade area, and I thought it was pretty cool. This ride or this thing doesn't exist anymore, but I'm sure some of you who are old, like myself, are old enough remember this, or even got to go do this yourself. I actually remember growing up as a kid in the early 90s on the VCR cassette tapes. They used to have advertisements of when they were building this or when they were going to have this ride open up, and this was in like I don't remember exactly, like 1995, 1994, I don't remember when they started making this. But this ride doesn't exist anymore, and it's kind of, it's kind of a sad thing. It's kind of too bad. The place, I'm not really sure what happened exactly. I guess the place went bankrupt, or the economy went bad, or I don't know exactly. But also, this was in the Las Vegas Hilton. And for those of you out there who know about or who knew about this place, back in the day, that's where they used to have the Star Trek conventions or something. I don't remember exactly. And I guess one of the things they did over time is they moved to a different building. The Star Trek convention moved to a different building or another part of the town. So maybe, I guess, some of the Star Trek people or Trekkies and stuff, or some of the Star Trek fans stopped going or didn't go as much. But yeah, this is kind of sad because the place doesn't exist anymore, and I guess like future generations, they won't get to, kids in the future, they won't get to see or experience that stuff. But yeah, back in the 90s, this is how it was. Let me just go over some of this stuff I have here. This is apparently, I don't even really remember a lot of this stuff, but I found some of this old stuff I had from way back. This is from years ago. Oh, and so let me go over real quick what this was. So this was a ride, and you went in, and it was like a little, almost like a little movie theater. Like you got to like walk around like some of the spaceships, like the Enterprise. They recreated like parts of that ship, like some of the hallways and like the bridge and all that. And they had like this little movie theater area that was like a big it was supposed to be like a big shuttle basically, and everybody would go there and sit down, and you would watch this like movie thing, and you had to it was about like saving like the galaxy or the Earth or whatever from the Klingons or Borg. No, I think when I was there, they had the Kling. It was still like the Klingon, like save the world from the Klingons, and then I think they changed it to the like save the world from the Borg or something like that. And I don't even remember really any of that stuff. I'm sure there's another YouTube out there about the actual ride itself. I don't know where though, but somewhere out there. Anyway, so this is one of the receipt. I think this is the receipt that I got from the place. And they also, oh yeah, they also had a Quark's bar. Like they made a second Quark's bar, and it was like a little like restaurant and stuff. General admission ticket. This was $15.95. Yeah, this is from way back. And this other stuff, let's see here. I guess this was just some flyers or pamphlets that they had there at the time. Oh, and also, they had, as you were waiting to go on the ride, they had like this little like line type thing, and they had like little props from some of the shows, like DS9. At the time, they only had, I think it was DS9 and Next Generation. And anyway, so they had like some of the costumes there, and they had some TVs to watch while you were waiting. Let's see, it says here, all film and video clips exhibited on the television monitors within Star Trek The Experience. And so you would watch this stuff, and I guess this is what you're looking at here is just a list of some of the videos that they played while you were standing in line. And they have some Voyager episodes, Next Generation, DS9. I guess they also have some of the original Star Treks that they played. And there's just several pages of this, and I guess at random times they would play some of the various episodes to help people waiting in line pass the time or whatever. The last page here, it says on the bottom, in most of the videos, footage from the opening sequences of the television episodes was used. Okay. This thing is, I don't remember this, but this is for, I guess, an event. This is a little advertisement for a event that they had there in 2000 for the, and this was for the Millennium Celebration at the Las Vegas Hilton. And I guess they had 100 tickets for a one-time only event, and it just talks about this thing, or this page just talks about, you know, where to go and stuff. Yeah. What's this? Oh. Here's another advertisement or commercial for a book, a Star Trek book, and this one is for, or was for, if I could get this to focus. This is real small. Some of this stuff is real small too. I don't even know if you could see it. but I guess this was part of the book, one of the books, that the Star Trek books that they used to make or made and stuff from way back. Let's see here. The book was and this is a good example or reminder of how things were different from back then. Like how money was, or like dollars and stuff, was worth more back then than it is today, obviously. This book was for $35, 48 in the Canadian money, or Canadian dollar, and then 19 pounds. Like today, I think the Canadian dollar and the US dollar is the same or about the same and stuff. Let's see here. This is another pretty cool thing. I guess it says here, join the crew and boldly go. This is for Star Trek: The Experience, Las Vegas, Hilton. I guess this is kind of cool. This is a advertisement or flyer for the ride, for the place and stuff. But I remember this as a kid because they have like the various Star Trek people, like the Klingons, the Romulans, Cardassians, and they also have a picture of a Trill. This is not. It looks like this woman is dressed up as the Jadzia Dax character from DS9. I guess this stuff is kind of cool. I don't know where this woman or these other people, where they are now, but like on the ride, I think they had some of the people like this, dressed up like this. Like the Klingons and the Federation or the Star Fleet people. Yeah, they were dressed up on the ride, some of the people. Like they had like characters or actors and stuff. Yeah, I don't know where this woman or these other people are today, but I guess this is kind of cool. What they did. This is what they did back then, or what they had going on. So that's kind of cool. We'll open this thing up. Let's see here. Yeah, this is a example of what I was talking about earlier. They had this one little room that was a little bit like a movie theater, and people went in there to sit down, and it was like this like shuttle ride that you went on, and you had to escape the Klingons. I don't even remember what the plot line or storyline was about, but it was something like you had a it was I remember now. It was time travel. I guess the storyline for the ride was you time travel into the future, and you had to escape back to the past or whatever, and escape the Klingons. There's a picture of the Enterprise bridge that they also had there, and another. Oh, man, is this gonna focus? Sometimes this camera acts up, and it's hard to zoom in on this picture here. There we go. That's a little bit better at least. But that is one of the hallways. That's an example or a picture of one of the hallways that they had in the ride that you got to walk down. It was kind of weird, you know. They had like these hallways with the Next Generation like design and stuff. And so I thought that was kind of cool. You were also able to have your picture taken and then added to one of the Star Trek series, like the DS9 seasonal picture or the Voyager seasonal picture, and you could have your picture taken, and then at the time they would go back and add it to. So it looked like basically it looked like you were standing there with like the other Star Trek, actors and stuff. And I thought that was kind of cool too. It says here, it's the 24th century, 350 years ahead of its time. Yeah. Thinking about if I remember, there was, I don't think this is the woman who was dressed up as the Trill there. I don't think that's the same woman that was in that one, because the Trill were pretty rare to see in like Star Trek. Not the Dax character from DS9, but I'm talking about the Next Generation, which I think is where they were based off of. But from that one episode in the Next Generation, they had, I forget what it was. I think it was a Trill in that one episode. I don't even remember, but yeah. So this stuff was that I had or I found was a Star Trek savings book, and there's some of the stuff that they used to sell or make back in the day. Real old stuff. This stuff is from like about 10 or 20 years ago. So yeah, I was just a kid at the time, and I don't even really remember a lot or most of this stuff. But I guess it's kind of cool. It's what they did back then, or some of the stuff that they had back then. Oh, and from one of the other videos out there that I made or talked about or put out there, I talked about some of the Star Trek video games, and this is one of them that they made from way back, and it was a Star Trek DS9 Harbinger. Yeah, so I guess that was kind of cool. It says here on the bottom, a mysterious murder, a threatened alien race, a doomed planet. Welcome to Star Trek Deep Space Nine Harbinger, an adventure game on CD-ROM. And back then, they had that stuff on, for those of you who remember, Windows 95 and 98, I think it was. Windows 98. I guess this was another thing that they had. Yeah, this was another thing that they had down there. At the Star Trek Las Vegas place, or the experience. And this other thing I found was for some. This is an advertisement for some Star Trek trading cards that they had. I don't know a whole lot about that stuff, but they used to make these baseball cards with like a Star Trek like theme on them, and they had like some of the characters or events or things. And I don't really know too much about it, but apparently that was pretty big back then, and people would like for those of you who also remember, like later on they had like Pokemon cards, and what was the other one called? Pokemon and Digimon. I can't remember what the other one was that they came out with later, but this is what they had back then. This was like an earlier version, and apparently it was pretty big because people would battle it out where they would have like battles and stuff. Uh, it was a pretty big like game and stuff. Like even as a kid, let me give you another example. Even as a kid growing up, I remember stuff like this was really popular. Like for those of you out there who had or remember Pong, Pong cards or the little Pong coins. It was like these little card. Like as a kid, I remember that's one of the main things I got to do, or I thought it was pretty cool at the time, was the Pong cards. That was stuff. This was something that was similar to this. And if you don't know what a Pong card is, it was like this little coin or quarter-shaped thing, and it was made out of like cardboard or plastic, and you used to like flip them, or you had like this little uh, I can't even remember. You had like this little metal coin, and you would flip them and stuff. And I remember some of the me, myself, and some of the other kids would have those also, and we used to play with them and stuff outside. That was also pretty cool. But yeah. And so yeah, that's that. And that is some of the stuff I found or had from way, way back. Thanks for watching.